What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Amalgam Games Lab. I am your host, Shannon Hagler, alongside Keena Johnston.
It's cold now, so we're all wearing hoodies.
We're all wearing hoodies. Black hoodie. It's a new hoodie.
Oh, nice.
I got it recently. It's very nice.
I like wearing hoodies. The other night, I was at Karen's birthday party, and instead of sleeping, I just stayed up until the train came at 5:30 in the morning. And it was so fucking cold. It was so good, but I only had a hoodie with me. And this would be the perfect time to start wearing layers, which is all I want to do is wear layers. In
yes.
winter.
Yeah. No, I'm the exact same.
It's too fucking hot in this city.
Yeah.
You do anything during the daylight, and you're like, and then you take it off.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I love layers. I mean, a shirt with another shirt, and then a jumper, or like a skivvy, or a vest, or a hoodie, and then a big jacket, and a scarf. And I like Melbourne as a city. It's cold. Anyway, this is the show where we talk games and the gaming industry at large. If you do like what you're about to watch, please leave a like and subscribe, hit the notification bell. Any questions, leave a comment down below or email us at amalgamshow@gmail.com. Support us on Patreon. I have an idea for that. I'll talk about it later.
Okay.
At patreon.com/Amalgam Show. You can check us out across all social media at The Amalgam Show, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And also the website, www.theamalgamshow.com, where you can see reviews and stuff.
I didn't really need to add that to the outline, but...
That's all right. I remembered it. Before we kick into the news, what have you been playing?
I finished Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
That's a good game. The ending's weird. I guess spoilers for Final Fantasy X.
Well, actually, hold. That's actually what I was going to talk about. I've been playing Final Fantasy X. You got me. You got me in the mood. You got me in the mood, so I decided to replay Final Fantasy X.
On Switch or
no PS4? Just checking my PS4 version. I think. Remember how last week you talked about how there's no way to skip cutscenes?
Yeah.
I think there might be a way. Only because I know I was playing it through and there was a cutscene that I didn't want to watch, and I was like, and I just hit the touchpad, and it didn't skip all of it. It just skipped a chunk of it, and I was like, I wonder. And I've been trying it again, and it's not working. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe my disc is weird, but maybe the touchpad does that. But anyway.
I know from 10.2 you can skip cutscenes.
Yeah.
10 you can just exit some dialogue, but then it's like some of it locks up where you can't because of performance.
Yeah, it might be some of the more like pre-rendered cutscenes you can skip through. But I'm still testing that out. Yeah. I'm still fairly early on. But yeah, you got me in the mood because I just like love that game so much. So I was like, I'm going to play that game. Well, we can go through some spoilers if you want. But I was thinking that perhaps we could do a big old deep dive. Because I'm sure you've got some questions about some parts of it.
Some parts.
And I've got a lot of answers. Because I know this game very, very well, back to front. Tend to, but I know this game so well.
Yeah.
Including its lore, backstory, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll do that. But yeah, 10.
We can do that after we finish. I was thinking, on that, I was thinking after E3, after I finish 10.2 and the last mission.
Yeah.
Then we can go into that and then...
Absolutely, because I want to get your thoughts on all of it, and I feel like we should commit that to film, whether that be a Patreon thing or whether we just do a couple. Like maybe we do our own like deep dive series on the YouTube, like just a playlist of like 3 or 4 hour long videos that are just us working through it. But the ending of 10, how'd you go? What'd you think?
Tita specifically, I'm just like, he just jumps off and sort of like everyone like the way everyone spoke about this game that it's an emotional like love story, and I get like this part of that, but then he's just like, I gotta go, and then it's just over really quick, and I'm like, I think I get that, but it's just sort of a little underwhelming. Like I thought there'd be like a proper just emotional gut-wrenching scene, but it's not. For me it was like, because it's the part where he tries to hug her and he passes through. For me it's heartbreaking, and then he just kind of has to like just get himself in position and just kind of sit there and be like, well, I'm not actually hugging you, but I'm as close as I can possibly be. And that always gets me. Like, that's actually really rough. Because it's something I don't think they've ever really... Well, Eris. Like killing a main
interest, or having the love interest be one of those, like... ships passing in the night, like, so close but so far kind of thing. This kind of a thing they don't really do well at a lot of the time.
Like 9 kind of does that, but it is a happy ending at the end.
Yes,
Whereas this is not.
But the I mean, for all intents and purposes, it's not a happy ending.
Yeah.
But it is fascinating, and you know, one of the things that actually is that I commend 10-2 on is the fact that they pick that thread up and they actually try to give you an explanation.
Yeah.
The problem with it is that if you don't know enough of the backstory of 10-2 makes no fucking sense. It makes no goddamn sense.
Is it like more towards because I'm in chapter 5 of 10-2, so I'm just clearing through everything before I go and fight Vegna Gun.
Yep.
Which sounds like a Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Like there's Shala Shaka. What's the Metal Gear from Peace Walker?
The Shagohard?
Shagahard.
Yeah.
It just gives me that vibe, and it kind of looks like a Metal Gear.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And there's some stuff that you're probably gonna miss. Probably some emotional beats you'll miss out on because you didn't go back and get any of the extra Aeons or anything, did you?
No.
In 10, yeah.
But
so there's some emotional beats there that kind of get missed because they do a lot of stuff with the Aeons in 10-2, and if you've missed certain ones, it kind of doesn't. I mean, you can get the gist of it.
Got all of the ones I fought again. So what I mean is that, like, in 10-2, I have fought all the ones that I already had in 10.
Right, okay, cool.
There's not, like, any extras so far.
No. I'm pretty sure when you move into Chapter 5, some of the others pop up.
Okay.
Or they're side quests as well. I can't remember if they did that correctly.
I'm also getting to the point where I realize the point of the 100% in this game, which is like, because I thought I did, chapter 1 I fucked up, like I didn't do everything, because I just went through the hotspots, and then when I was done, and I'm like, oh, I can't go back, oh, okay, and then I tried to do as much as I can, like, go through the things, and if there's something that says it needs doing, I'll do it whether it's a hotspot or not, and then do all the hotspots last. But now I'm getting to the point where I'm just getting, like, really weird endings to all these quests, like, like Waka didn't name his child. I'm like, that seems a bit empty. And the dude who was supposed to coach all the people, blitzball players.
Oh yeah.
That he just ups and leaves.
Yes, and like, that guy. That fucking guy.
I hated that mission as well. So I'm like, fuck it. But then like, there's very much a part where you know how like in Telltale games, how you can kind of tell where new scenes are supposed to split in.
Yes.
This one kind of felt like that because the ball came out of nowhere and it just sort of stayed there, and then he's just like, and someone's just like, sorry.
Yeah.
And then I'm feeling like, I feel this was supposed to be an emotional like payoff, like, we're all good.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Like,
yeah. No, there's a lot of stuff where like at the very first chapter, you basically, and like I didn't do it the first time I played it either. I just went to the hotspots and was like, what is going on? Like it doesn't. And if you do the like beeline through the story and just do all the hotspots, you get about less than half of the story, and you finish the game. But I was just like, what just happened? Then when I went back and played it again, like you have to, and it doesn't do a very good job of explaining this, you have to go to every location other than the hotspots first, and talk to everyone there and do all your little mini quests, and then go and do the hotspots. And then even the hotspots make more sense because some of the stuff on the outsides kind of feeds into it. And so the game's structured very weirdly, and I don't like the way 10-2 plays. I like what it does to the story in the world because if you do get the perfect ending, it does something very fantastic. But man, oh man,
10 I don't mind the mission structure because I'm like cool, but
10 is just a linear
missions
game.
themselves are just a bunch of mini games. Like I usually don't have that disconnected feel of oh shit, I'm playing a video game. It was the part where I was picking up monkeys and pairing them up with other monkeys. I'm like, oh, this is something that like out of context makes no sense, and even in context, I mean like, what the fuck is he doing? And I got that emotional payoff. Like that's the only episode complete I've had.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then the other ones are all episode concluded so far.
Yes,
like, I get what's going on here, but I'm just like, this is weird.
It's
like,
just so weird.
Mini games that I don't enjoy. I'm like,
I mean,
I love the battle system. Like, it's really cool. And I'm like, I wish I had more dress spheres. Like, I'm missing some, but I don't know where they are. I've gone everywhere.
Yeah, the dress sphere system, oh boy. In terms of collecting them all, they're this weird combination of there are a bunch that you do need to get through those extra missions. Like if you're playing certain missions, and do it in a certain order and do the right stuff, you'll get prizes that are extra. Extra dress spheres. And then there are some that are just like literally laying around.
Yeah.
And you just have to look hard enough, and they're in weird spots and stuff like that. Yeah. The dress sphere system for me is broken. I like the idea of it. I like the idea of being able to switch up your character's role partway through. But some of the dress spheres you don't get till much later in the game. And then by that point, you have to level them up.
Yeah.
And you're basically starting from level 1 again with a new dress sphere. And like, I don't want to do that late game. It's like catching a really cool Pokemon at the end of a Pokemon game. I'm never going to use the fucking thing. So why have I got it?
The only new one that I've used and restarted is Berserker.
Yeah.
But Pain is just my damage person.
Oh yeah, Pain is great.
Yeah,
Pain's a good character.
Warrior, and then for whatever reason she can use her warrior powers as a Berserker. So I've just carried that over, and she's great there.
Yeah. Some of them have that like certain. There's certain abilities that when you learn them, they're just permanent. Yeah. Then you don't have to switch. Yeah, and it's like a weird combination of like Final Fantasy Lightning Returns and Final Fantasy 3's job system and Final Fantasy 12. Like it's this weird combination of all of them. And it's a real pain in the butt sometimes. And like the other thing that I think is broken about it is that, did you get their ultimate dress spheres? Have you got?
I got them. I don't know how to use them. It said like press L and then R. I'm like, I've pressed R and nothing happened. I'm like, well.
Oh, you don't know how to actually activate them?
No.
Okay. Do yourself a favor.
I'm meaning to check it, but
how many what is it, gear grids, dress grids?
Garment grids.
Garment grids. There should be one called Unrelenting.
Yeah.
Or something like that, where it's just 2 points.
Oh, that?
Yeah. All of them, you can do this on any dress sphere, but that's the easiest one.
Yeah.
All you have to do to activate that is activate every single garment, like dress sphere on the garment grid in a single battle.
Oh.
You'll notice that when you move from dress sphere to dress sphere, they light up blue.
I didn't notice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so when you do, they light up blue. When you've done all the connections on a garment grid, you'll have the ability to activate their regular one, which is why I'm about to say it's broken, because the Unrelenting gear is just it's just
the point of that one.
Yeah. You just literally just go from one to the other, and then you're into maximum. Like you can go into overdrive mode basically, and you can use them. And basically what I did was, once I got the Unrelenting, I just stuck the Thief one on Riku and then gave her a secondary one that she liked, the Gunner on Yuna and gave her a secondary one that she liked, and the Warrior on Pain and gave her a secondary one that she liked, and then just maxed those up and then just had them. That was it. That's all you need. And in fact, the second time I ever played through that game, like the third or fourth, I started doing a little bit more like figuring stuff out, but the third or fourth time I had Thief, Gunner, Warrior, and then I gave Pain the Berserker, the Berserker, or the Dark Knight.
Oh, I like Dark Knight.
I
don't have it, but I'd like it.
Might have been the Dark Knight, actually. I might have given her the Dark Knight, and the other two just got the Warrior.
Yeah.
Because it's just damage.
Yeah.
So that was what? 1, 2, 3, 4 dress spheres in total, plus their ultimates, and you can beat that game without trouble. And it's once you have that Unrelenting one, it's broken. So yeah, that ain't fun. And then like you said, it's just minigame after minigame after minigame. Like a lot of people on the internet, I don't know, I haven't seen it in a while, but just kind of call this game Final Fan Service, because that's kind of all it is.
Yes.
Because it is just those 3 characters that look nice in these outfits, and you get to play around with messing them, changing them up and doing all that kind of stuff. And then they just throw a loose storyline in there that is good. It's actually really compelling. But again, it's only compelling because I know so much about the lore and background of Spiro from 10. And the stuff there does. I feel like when we start talking about it more, you might appreciate it. There might be some moments with 10 too, because it it needs it. The one thing I hate about 10.2 as well, which is, I don't want to be controversial to say, but I fucking hate that they changed Blitzball.
I haven't touched it.
Because there's a Blitzball minigame in 10.2 as well, and it's worse than the one in 10. Because you don't even get to control the characters. You just set them up, and then you hit a button, and they just play, like, in super fast speed. And then occasionally they'll zoom in and be like, do you want to attack? And you're like, yes. And I lost every single game, and I don't know how to win that one. Whereas I'm good at Blitzball in 10.
There's a... I don't know. 10.2 is very weird.
It's so weird.
I like the battle system itself. It makes me want to play 13 because it's kind of the same thing in terms of like 13 just straight up everyone shifts roles at the same time.
Yes,
this is independently shifting.
Yeah.
And again, I'm like the other thing is that like you can tell this game was made very cheaply.
Oh yeah, like just pull those assets.
Obvious.
Yeah, and it doesn't look as good. I don't think.
It's
cutscenes
spectacular. Like,
well, its cutscenes are just as good. Like its full rendered cutscenes are just as good, but the actual in-game assets I don't think look as good as 10's. They might technically be higher polygon, but they just don't look it. It's just like Sphere Break. God almighty.
Sorry?
Fucking math in my Final Fantasy game. Ugh. Sphere Break. Did you play that? Yeah, no. Then you wouldn't have the Lady Luck dress sphere.
No.
What a crap show that is.
Yeah, I'm like going through like getting the unsatisfying ending to these quests. I'm like, maybe I do want to go back, but then I'm like, no, I have to do all these fucking shitty mini games. I'm like, I'll just finish the game, YouTube what I'm missing, and then YouTube the ending. Like the proper ending.
Yeah.
Ending, so I might do. But
does the last mission do that for you?
Final mission assumes that you've seen the final ending.
Right. Yes, of course. Yep.
The thing I hate the most is Brother.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy that character at all. But the thing that they do is that they focus the camera, and then whenever people move, it follows them in a weird way. Like it's not locked. It's like if there's a GoPro attached to them, and it just
the camera's weird.
I'm like, this is not good cinematography at all. And
no, they did their best to try and show through every aspect of the cinematography that Spira had changed.
Yeah.
Because the Spira that we first encounter in 10 is very, like in the sticks, old religion, that kind of thing. Whereas the Spira we see in 10.2 is 2 years where people are like, fucking machines, machina motherfucker. And they're doing their stuff. They're trying to figure out what it's like to live in a world where the taboo is not taboo anymore. And I think at its core, that is actually a fascinating base. And there are some things like the sphere hunters, the idea of people suddenly going out and making a living of hunting spheres because these things are now more than just religious trinkets, they're valuable in a certain way. The idea that the Crusaders don't know what to do with themselves.
Like I finally got that character beat with Pain. Like 2 years ago, her party got fucked up, and then she's like, what do I do now? I guess.
Yeah, and it's really fun to see certain characters like the when you go to Bevel, and there's just
old Yevon.
Yevon just having no fucking idea what they're doing. Like the whole world has been turned upside down because of the eternal calm, and they have no idea what they're doing. So the thing that about 10.2 for me that sometimes I don't know is like, I love the idea and the concept of the world. It bugs me that there's this kind of feeling of like, is Spira ever going to get a break? Because the second they did the eternal calm, here comes this other thing that's going to destroy Spira, and it's like, will this ever? Because I kind of want a game that is Final Fantasy X-2 minus the world-ending MacGuffin. Like, get rid of Vegnagun, get rid of it. Just have this game where you're just interacting with the people of Spira as they try and wrestle with the fact that their entire lives have been upended. Because it's not a bad thing. It was a good revolution. But still, there is an aftermath to a good
Yeah.
revolution that people need to start adjusting.
Yeah.
There is time that takes for people of a devout religion to let go of that.
Yeah.
There is time where people just won't know what to do with themselves. And that's a really fascinating idea. And they kind of, sort of get there sometimes. Like, one of my favorite places in that game is Killer Kaport.
Yeah.
Because of how much it changes
Yeah.
from the first game.
Yeah.
Every other place kind of looks basically the same.
Yeah, which is just reusing assets, which I get if you're
Yeah.
making the way this game was pipelined. I'm guess just like
Yeah.
pump this out, use all the assets, and I don't mind that.
No.
But yeah, Killer Kaport, like I forgot which one it was until someone was like, "Oh, we had to rebuild the whole thing." I'm like, "Oh, this is the one Sin fucked up."
Yes,
this is
yeah.
cool. I like it.
Yeah.
It's a completely new.
Yeah. Like, this is early game when Sin just wipes that place off the face of the map, and it's like, okay, this is awesome because they rebuild in such a way that is also like still in keeping with the way of Killer Kaport feeling. Like, you could feel that, like, oh, this place naturally birthed out of what Killiker was.
Yeah.
But everything else is almost identical.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot more, like... And and then they just add more machina to it. Like, when you go to the Jose Temple and there's just robots everywhere.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
There's just a science lab now, I guess.
Yeah.
But there are some really cool moments with... I think they do squander a little bit some of the moments with older characters. Like, I don't think Kamari's is great.
No, I just finished his quest, and I'm like, he doesn't like. Maybe it's just because I didn't get an episode complete on it, but he just sort of like, yep, we're Ronzo, we've got to keep moving forward. I'm
Yeah.
Like, how though? Like, maybe if I got the proper ending for it, it would be something.
Yeah, I feel like that there's a few in all of it that I have not. There's a few that I've never seen the complete ending for because I've never gotten 100% on this fucking game and it sucks.
Yeah.
Because I want to see how this thing plays out properly. And actually, one of my favorite parts of the game is actually one of the earlier ones where you go to Zanarkand again.
Yeah.
And Yuna's just like,
what the fuck? Get out of my like.
yeah.
And I like that, which is why I did like the ending with the monkeys because you like drive them off. It's just pest like control. And like, okay, like I like this, and she's like, and her ending there is like. Yeah, while my memory is intact, like I have to move forward. Like, things can't be the way I want them forever.
Yeah, and
like,
I love the opening though as well about her getting there, and it's like this place like was a sacred site, and you're all just fucking here as tourists.
Yeah.
Like it took like years of dedication and sacrifice, and a bunch of people who were summoners never saw this place because they died along the way.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh man, that kind of got me for a second. But that's the opening of the game. Like one of the first places you go to is Zanarkand again.
Yeah.
And then it kind of like from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anything I'm going to say. I was going to say, go back to 10. The music for it. Like, music's really good. I've been listening to the OST for it. And I really like the love song music.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that song's just really pretty.
It is. It's gorgeous.
It kind of like the song itself and the cutscene kind of caught me off guard when I was playing the game. I'm like, oh, this is okay.
Oh, really? Really? Yeah.
And yeah, it's a bit too spectacular for what I was like just expecting at the time. But I'm like, this is pretty. I should probably watch it again on YouTube. Just like soak it in properly. The song was really pretty, and I keep playing it. And then Seymour's final boss battle. It's just really cool.
So good. It's
and
so good.
It gives me Dancing Mad vibes.
Yeah.
Like there's just a couple of little things that just echo Dancing Mad. I'm like, Dancing Mad is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be grumpy at that.
I'm a big fan of the music that plays over the final boss against Jekt too. Jekt's Aeon. Like there's something about that like half metal thing that I'm like, yeah, all right.
Yeah,
okay.
Again, like coming off like Seymour to that, I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
This is just
I mean, at least
just Square's like, I will let you do your prog rock shit.
Thank
you.
Well, yeah, Uematsu didn't fully compose this one though.
No, that was him though. Like you can tell, like, he's just doing.
But like, it's so much more. It's a fun soundtrack.
Yeah.
Everything is like bright and happy, and then there are those like really somber moments, and when they do it right.
Yeah.
The soundtrack is incredible.
Yeah.
And you can. It's really funny. What they do with the remaster specifically is they do that thing that I've probably said 1,000 times on this podcast, but they do that thing of like the game looks the way I remember it looking when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I think it does it for the sound as well, because you can do that thing in the options where you can change it between the arranged and the original.
Yeah.
And when you put the original on, man, it sounds like trash. It's like, oh, I can't.
I like the original. Like, I always prefer the original soundtracks.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know why.
See, yeah.
Because where my brain is like, it was composed to the PS2's capability of sound, so that's what they produce. So that's what I'm going to listen to.
Yeah.
And then there's a point where like some of the arranged is weird, but
it's just
it's like I rebooted up Final Fantasy IV the other day. I think it was on sale, and I wanted to see if it worked on my Vita. It does. It looks super pretty on the Vita.
Oh, nice.
And you can do original and arranged, and that. I think that's a very different situation because you've got 16-bit sound, which is a very specific sound, and then you've got the more reorchestrated, it's just redone.
And like actual instruments.
But I'm like, they both have pros and cons. Where I feel like there's probably more of a sense of taste rather for arranged for 10.
The arranged one is because it defaults to the arranged. And I stuck that on, and it just sounded the way I remember it sounding. Which is something I've never really had with music before. Of like, oh, this sounds the way. And then I flipped it back to the original, and I was listening. I think it's in Luca specifically, where they have that kind of like those horns in the background, like the bum 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 bum. And that was playing, but it just sounded like one horn, and I was like, that doesn't sound right. And I know it's the original music, but it didn't sound right anymore. Maybe it's because I played too long with the arranged, but I like the way the arranged feels now. I think it's a good substitute, and I think it does. It's cleaner. It's crisper.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I feel it put there for people who want a rearranged soundtrack, who have listened to the first one the original 1,000 times, and just like, hey, I want to see what this sounds like differently. Like for me, I listened to Seymour's Final Battle song in arranged, and it just doesn't have that PS2ism to it, which is what I like out of that song. Just it can't quite produce the sounds that he wants it to.
Yes,
but
he tries anyway.
That's why I like 7, 8, or 7 and 9 soundtracks, is because there's an instrument there, but they can't quite get them to come through properly.
Yes, and
I like that about them. And then you can get like actual like Distant Worlds soundtracks. That
where they've got a fully orchestrated set, and it sounds friggin' amazing. But I mean, maybe it's just, again, maybe it's me with being partial to like I Love 8 soundtrack, and it's because it's using a wider array of instruments and actually is using like a fairly decent orchestral soundtrack there, and that's one of my favorite soundtracks. So maybe I just prefer the orchestration. Maybe that's just me. But no, I really like the way they did that. What did you think of the post-final boss, the very last thing you do after you beat Jex?
Bit disappointing.
Yeah,
because I was expecting you, Yevon, to be an actual dude and like have some sort of ethical or moral conversation with him, and for him to monologue, but him to come out like a weird looking fetus or something.
Whoops. Bye-bye.
But, for him to, like, this weird... I don't actually remember what he looks like.
It's like a spider kind of thing.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is disappointing. I like the fight with the Aeons, because that's the point of that, like... Like, he takes the Aeons and controls them. And then,
I was more talking about that part, about how they make you fight all the Aeons.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
And then for you to do it again in 10-2, I'm like, I don't want to do this.
Yes. Good. That was the thing I was kind of getting at. It was like the Aeon part is the part that always got me. It was like the Yu Yevon part is fine. And again, when we do a bit more of a dive, I can explain why that is the way. There's a reason it's the way that is, which is never explained in the game, which is a problem. But the battle with the Aeons, where it's making you kill each Aeon over and over and over again, is, I think, really fucking great / heartbreaking. Like, you're making you be like, do it. And also, like, it's not the final boss, because the final boss is Jex Aeon. Like, that's the final boss. Because they give you auto life in that final bit, so you can't die.
When I found that, like, I was using a guide at the time, because like, Jex Aeon was really hard.
It's tough.
I found that I could zombie him. I'm like, oh, that helps a bit.
Yes, yes, a little bit.
And then I'm like, oh, then this one just auto life, like it's easy. I'm like, oh, that's good. But then I didn't actually read the content of what I was fighting. And then when I got there, I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, it's very much like the Sephiroth fight in Final Fantasy VII, like when he's just in his human form.
Yeah.
It's just like you get the limit break straight away. On his lack and you beat him.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that they do that. Like you have the grand scale.
Yeah, no, I actually love that part in 10, like, because I like the fact that you go through and you do this massive, like, pretty difficult boss. Like, compared to some of the post-game shit, it's nothing.
Yeah.
But, and that's part of the reason I'm playing again, is because I'm wanting to go back and do some of the post-game stuff I've never done.
Yeah.
And I'm looking up guides and doing some research to actually figure it out, because I love that battle system so fucking much. But you do this awesome ultimate difficult thing and you complete it and you're like, yes! And they want to give you that last story beat, but unlike what they used to do in the old days, a lot of the time, which is like boss rush, where you're just like this boss, then this boss, then this boss, then this boss, and you're like, oh my god, just stop, leave me alone. I just want it to end. Or doing that thing like Final Fantasy VIII does it a lot, where they'll have like multiple bosses in a row. And no save point in between them, so you just like you have to go, like just go. And
I said last time we were talking about it, 10 feels like a boss rush. Like you after the Seymour marriage, it just feels like boss rush from there on. But you do get the save points, and there are random encounters, but the frequency of bosses is a lot for a JRPG. But 8 would be fucked.
8 does a lot of things where you are doing several boss encounters in a row, and there's no random encounters in between. It's just story beats of like, beat this thing. All right, cool. Bunch of like minor cutscene. Now beat this thing. Like, oh, for fuck's sake. All right, cool. Now beat this thing. And you're like, oh god, just let it end.
That's why like the Switch version of 9 is because it does the Kuja fight and then it does the final boss, which is the bad final boss. Not orphan, but you get like you die, but because it has the autosave feature, it just takes you back to the cutscene.
Yes, exactly.
And that's what I want. Like,
which is
hearing this, I'm like, this is why I want a Switch port.
Yes, because I hope they put that into. If they ever do an 8 Switch port, they should put that into 8 as well, as give you an autosave feature, because that game without an autosave is a fucking nightmare. But they don't. They restrain themselves from doing that in 10, because you do get that like 2-part boss battle with Jex Aeon, and it's a pain in the ass. And then they have to give you that extra bit, because you have to kill Sin, you have to get that thing done. So they want to give that to you, but they don't want to put you in a position where you're having to go again. With your, possibly with your items and inventory depleted, and your MP and all that kind of stuff. So what they do instead is like, okay, they give you a symbolic battle. It's more of a symbolic thing than anything else. It gives you an out, and the story is complete. And then you can just sit back and watch the half-hour-long cutscene that follows it, which is gorgeous. It's a really pretty cutscene. Especially the bit where they're on the ship and all the Aeons are around them, and the Aeons are pyre flying all over the place. It's like, oh, it's so pretty. It's such a pretty game. Oh man, sunset in that game looks great.
Final Fantasy, that's good. So far, I'm just trying to think. Definitely recommendable. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about as well. Eternal Calm. Have you watched that before?
I feel like I have, but not in a while.
That checks out. It's pretty whatever.
I feel like I watched it when I first got it on the PS3, and then just haven't again. I'm looking at maybe like when I finish 10, like I'm gonna go through the thing on the order that it comes on the disc. So I'm gonna finish 10, and then I'm going to watch the Eternal Calm, and then I'm gonna go back to 10, and I'm gonna finish all the post game stuff, because I really want to do that. Because I did some of it. I did like little bits and bobs here and there. I did like a bit of the Omega Ruins, and I've had all the Aeons before. That's not a problem. I have collected all of the Celestial Weapons -2 before, and I want to get those 2, and it's gonna suck, but I'm gonna do it. And I've watched some stuff online and on how to. Because the problem one of the bigger problems with this game in terms of its ultimate weapons is that the 2 that everyone hates, there's no way to cheese it. You just have to do it. But there are ways.
What's the other one other than Thunder Plains?
The Chocobo Racing. in
I
calm
gave that
lands.
a good shot.
Yeah, so
Like,
the problem
damn.
with that, the Thunder Plains, you got to dodge lightning
Yeah.
200 times in a row without
I
getting
thought it was
hit.
100.
It's 200.
Fuck me.
Yeah. So the thing is, though, is that there have been people out there who have done the work, and praise be to those people, where there is a certain area where there's a lightning rod next to a crater. And if you run from the lightning rod to the crater, the lightning always strikes. Always strikes when you hit that crater. So you can time it, you can get yourself into a rhythm, and if you're doing it correctly, you can get 2 strikes every 8 seconds. And you can dodge that, and you can just go. And the way that most people have said is just like, look, all you need to do is don't count, because if you count, you'll lose track.
Yeah.
Just get yourself into that rhythm, know that you're doing good at it, stick on a playlist with some music, time yourself for 15, 20 minutes, and just do that. And once it's done, like if you pass 15 minutes and you're doing it consistently, you will have dodged 200 lightning bolts. You just need to get into that rhythm.
Yeah.
I'm like, 15 minutes does not sound like that's going to be that long.
Yeah.
I could do that.
Put on a podcast and do it.
Yeah, exactly. The Calmlands one with Titus and the Chocobo racing is a bit different. That one is a combination of RNG and luck. Like, you just need to get lucky, because it's not just you do all the training, and the training is fine. It can be done. It's you basically just bang your head against it enough and you can do it. Yeah. But then there's a final race. And you've got to beat the trainer twice. You've got to beat them the first time to win the race. Yeah. And that one, again, not that hard. You can do it. It's the part to actually get the final piece. So the way it works is that there's a race from the entrance of the Calmlands to the exit of the Calmlands on a chocobo that's not controlling well. And the mechanic is that you pick up balloons along the way, and every balloon you pick up is minus 3 seconds to your final time. And then there's birds, and every bird that hits you is plus 3 seconds to your final time. It takes around about 35 seconds-ish if you're beelining it to get there. The way the race mechanic works is you have to win that race and finish with a time of less than 0 seconds. So you have to basically do a perfect run without getting hit by a bird, which is very difficult, and collect as many balloons as you possibly can in under 35 seconds. With a chocobo that does not control great. It's very difficult. And there's no way to cheese it. And the biggest problem with it is that they give you the customizability, so you can get a weapon for Titus that is close to it, because all of the celestial weapons have this combination of stuff that is incredible for that particular character. So for Titus's, it is triple overdrive, which is... I misspoke last week. I said it was 3 times overdrive. What it is, whatever your overdrive charge is, it charges 3 times as fast. Oh, okay. So whatever the base is. So if you've got a thing that's the more damage you take, it triples that equation or whatever. It basically means that if you're smart enough, you can have overdrive all the time. Yeah. Because it's that good. So they get triple overdrive, break damage limit, so they can go above 9. So they can go above quad 9. And then his specifically has evade encounter, which is an ability that whenever...
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, dodge, counterattack.
Regular counterattack.
Yeah. So evade encounter is great. So you don't take damage and they take damage. Yeah. And the other one he has is magic counter. So he basically counters everything that hits him, which is fantastic for him.
Yeah. So I just want to say, 4-9, I was just thinking about 4X. 4-9 would be a great, nerdy bar.
It would be a good nerdy bar. That would be a good nerdy bar. Quad 9.
Sorry.
No, you're right. So yeah, that's what his abilities are. However, in the coding of the game for all of the celestial weapons, there are secondary abilities that these weapons have that are not listed.
Yeah. Okay.
One of them is, for all of the celestial weapons, they ignore the defense stat of the opposing monster. So even if you were able to, which you can customize a weapon with all 4 of those abilities on it, it still won't be as powerful because it cannot ignore the defense stat. The secondary thing is that depending on who it is, they have different variations. So for Titus specifically, the higher his HP is, the more damage he deals. So if you keep him up at max health, he's just wailing on people. Fun fact, Orin's is the opposite. The lower his HP is, the more damage he deals. And specifically, because of that, for that reason, they don't give him evade and counter, they just give him counter attack.
Okay.
So he takes the damage and then just deals it back. And he deals, if he has less than 70% of his HP, he can deal the most damage in the game.
Jesus.
Because there's a lot of people who have done the thing where they've taken the formulas and plugged them into a calculator and removed the limits, because at a certain point there's just a limit on everything.
Yeah.
There is 5/9, I think, is the highest anything can go.
Yeah.
Apart from Bahamut's Overdrive, which can go into 6-digit damage.
Jesus, fuck.
Yeah. Super fun. But I think Orin he has the second highest attack of anything in the game. Like if you max him out and you give him his celestial weapon, he can deal something like 1.7 million damage in a single hit. If you put him down to like 1 HP and do a certain number of things, you can just like roast him. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff in that game I want to do that I haven't done before, because there is so much in terms of stats and abilities and the way the battle system is laid out, and all the different combination of things you can do with this vast array of characters, that when you look at the way the sphere grid is designed, you can put any character in any role. It doesn't matter. Like, go for it. The world's your oyster. And I just want to have a shot at it. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. What else have you been playing? We'll talk about Final Fantasy later.
Castlevania. I got the Anniversary Collection on Switch.
Okay, cool.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
Good collection.
No shit.
It's what it comes with is Castlevania 1 through 4.
Yeah.
4 is a remake of 1.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
And then it's got the first two Game Boy games, the Genesis game, and the Kid Dracula, which has only ever been in Japan.
Oh, okay.
It's like just a spin-off where you play as Kid Dracula.
Right.
It's just a fun, lighthearted, which is interesting for Castlevania, because that is not a fun, lighthearted series.
No.
The first one, I've messed around with a few of them. The Game Boy ones are so slow, and I'm like, ooh, which is saying something when Castlevania is already slow. Like, they are slow and methodic games.
Yeah.
Which is definitely, like, this is one of the games where Dark Souls is inspired by.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Like, all those hard games of the 80s, just like this. Yeah, this is one of them.
Yeah.
Castlevania 1's really fun, really good, especially because you can save scum it.
Oh, really?
You can save state and just load.
Right.
To the point where I was
beating
bosses without taking damage.
Yeah. Isn't this the game where like you can save state midway through a jump? Is it this one, or there's another game I'm thinking of? There's a game where you can save state midway through a jump, and then if you reload that save, you can jump again, and the game doesn't have a double jump?
I don't think this is this.
No. Does Castlevania have a double jump?
No.
No, it might be this one then. You should give it a shot.
I don't know if it's specific. I don't know how it works.
Yeah, because there was a thing.
Yeah, there's no real reason to double jumps.
No, but it breaks certain parts of the game, because you can get to places you shouldn't be able to get to, or do things you shouldn't be able to do. Like, I think what this person did was use it to jump over enemies that were too difficult. To be like, no, I'm done, and bye. Yeah.
I completely lost it. Jumping.
That's okay. Save states.
Don't know. It's very good.
It's Castlevania. It should be.
Yeah, it's really good. I hope they do another collection, because they did the Rondo of Blood and Symphony of the Night collection.
Yes.
And I would buy that, but I already have Symphony of the Night on Vita.
Right.
Because it's the PS1 classic.
Yeah.
And but the translation is different. Like, you don't get that, what is a man?
Oh.
Like a miserable part of little secrets. You don't get that in the retranslation.
Oh, why? Why would you do that?
I don't know.
Ruining a perfectly good thing. God damn it.
I wish, just keep that line. Like, if you can retranslate, just keep that line.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I hope they do, another collection, the GBA game, where that's, they do there's a time where they pretty much just annualized Metroidvania games, and apparently they're all fucking solid games.
Yes, yeah.
I would love that collection.
Yeah, that'd be
GBA
great.
to DS.
But it's Konami, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fat fucking chance.
We got a Castlevania collection. We've gotten 2 of them this year.
Yeah, that's true. It's I guess it's not a fat chance. It's just who knows. Who fucking knows?
Yeah, that's it. There's a couple of Game Boy games that are missing, but then Game Boy Advance and DS.
Yeah.
I don't think. Well, knowing Konami, they might end up doing like a Lord of the Shadow collection before any more classic.
Yeah.
Which no one wants that.
No. They don't know what people like. So you know. Yeah.
The reason I bought this is because I know it's Konami, but make more Castlevania.
Yes.
Have you seen the show?
No, I haven't yet.
Check it out.
Okay.
Even if you know, like, I knew nothing. Like, I played some of Symphony of the Night.
Yeah.
And that show's just really fucking.
It's like 4 episodes, isn't it?
4 episodes of first season, which is just super ground setting.
Right, and then it's like 8 the second?
And then 8 for the season 2.
Right.
And that's just fucking Game of Thrones in terms of like just Dracula's castle politics.
Oh, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I might give it a shot then.
And then like the 2 final episodes just have really good action fight scenes.
Oh, good.
Fuck yeah.
Good.
And then I started Dauntless. That game runs like fucking shit.
Oh, really?
The cutscenes run like shit.
What are you playing on?
PS4.
PS4.
Because I'm like, I'll check it out. It's free to play. And then I saw Epic as I was downloading. I'm like, oh, fuck, not another one.
They're everywhere.
And then I'm like downloading. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. They started, like, I was listening to a podcast when I started. I was trying to go into the actual story.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? What? And then I'm like, oh, it's Monster Hunter. That's right. Like,
yes. Yeah.
I'm like, cool. That seems good. But all the cutscenes are laggy as fuck. I'm like, you just came out of early access. Like, why is this still a thing? The cutscenes. The game was fun. The tutorial like fight this one monster. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. And then I'm like, got to the square. I'm like, this looks like Final Fantasy 14. I don't want to do this right now. And then headed to school.
Yeah, good idea. Okay, Dauntless. Yeah. Review on the website.
No, I'll wait till it's patched and fixed. Which who knows if that'll happen.
Yeah, maybe.
With it, yeah.
It's an early access game.
I'm down for a free-to-play Monster Hunter. I never got to play World because when it required friends and...
It's on Game Pass now.
I don't have Xbox.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I was looking at... like, when I was at Corin's place the other day, I just sat on his Xbox, just going through Game Pass.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, it's good. Like, you get like a month out of it and then you basically played all the games you want. I'm like, oh, yeah, it'd be great if like everyone had like free time like that.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, it'd be great to play... But that's the thing, I was looking at it like, oh, all these games, Karen, you should play, like Wolfenstein and Hellblade. I'm like, oh, I already played these games. Like,
like
this Shadow of the Tomb Raider on there.
Yeah, or it's like, it'd be great to play Crackdown 3. Like, okay, yeah, sure.
If I was into Gears, like Gears would be great, just waiting for that.
Oh, yeah. I feel like that's the one. Gears is the game that every time a new Gears comes out, I'm like, I should probably play through all of Gears. And I still never done it.
Yeah.
So maybe with Gears 5 on the horizon, I'll play through all of Gears again.
Yeah.
Sure.
What have you been up to? Besides 10, Final Fantasy 10?
Not a whole lot other than that, because that was kind of my way to get through the last week. The only thing I've been playing a lot of is Pokemon Go. Just been playing a lot more of that. Yeah. They're doing a lot more events. I did the Torchic Day, got myself some shiny Torchics. Getting close to getting that Melmetal. They're doing stuff with that game.
Yeah, they just introduced a new batch of Sinnoh Pokemon.
Yeah.
The only, like, I'm at the point where, like, I think you and Dean are, like, starting to play it more again.
Yeah.
And I'm, like, waning on it. I'm like, I've done everything.
Yeah.
I've caught all the Pokemon, except for these new Pokemon. They don't pop up very often, because every time they introduce new Pokemon, there's always, like, a new event straight after that they just decrease their numbers on. Like, for last time they did it, like, it was another Kanto event. Like,
yes.
With the fucking Kanto event.
Yeah. I mean, there's stuff that, like, I still need, but, like, I think part of the reason that I've gotten back into it is, one, I wanted to get that Melmetal before I get Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
And two, it is a great game to use as a wind down. Like when I get home from work late, me and my fiance go for a walk around a park near our place, and it's like we know exactly that one loop around this park is 1 kilometer.
Yeah.
So we can just do like 2 or 3 loops and like pick up a candy or hatch an egg or whatever we're doing. And it's a good way to just wind down, have a chat, and just play the game while we're doing that. And I'm going to go on my honeymoon later on this year, and I'm going to Hawaii.
Yeah, cool.
So I'll be able to catch some Pokemon that you can't catch in Australia.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to catch like a bunch of shit and just bring them back and see if I can trade them to people.
Yeah.
Because I think you can get a Relicanth up there.
Maybe. I know you can get one in New Zealand and Fiji.
Yeah, I think it's got to do with your longitude and latitude. And I think Hawaii...
That's for solar. For solar's longitude, latitude. It's basically Tropic of Cancer.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because I ended up getting one because I just went to Townsville.
Yeah.
Like, I went to Townsville and they're there.
Yeah.
Cairns. It wasn't Townsville, it was Cairns. Yeah. Shout out to Cairns. It's a nice city.
It's fine.
Well, it's a town. To be honest, it's a town. It's not a city.
Depending on what you...
It's a town. It's a town on the coast. It's nice. What was I saying? No, but there is stuff in Hawaii because they get put as part of a different region, and I believe it's Relicanth that they've got.
Yeah.
That is, and there's a couple other ones that are like their specific.
Yeah.
Stuff for their region. I'm just trying to figure out whether or not they'll class it as part of America or not. And if they do, can I get a Tauros?
I've got a spare one. They did a Kanto event.
Yeah, they did an event where like eggs were hatching the regional stuff, and I think I still have, because the way the eggs work is that whenever you spin to get that egg, it locks the Pokemon in place of what it's going to be then. Yeah. And I think I still have a couple of those from that time that just haven't hatched yet. Wow. I wasn't walking for very. I was playing, I just wasn't walking with it. Like I was literally opening it and going, oh, Pokestop, Pokemon, done, and that was my day. So I haven't hatched a lot, but maybe I'll pick one of those up, but. We'll see, whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that's pretty much it.
I want them to do the same thing for Johto. Like, I want to get the region inclusive through eggs, but...
I'm sure they will. It's just, this is the kind of thing that gives that game a long tail.
Yeah.
Because it... Because the other thing is, like, what I'm curious about is when will they start repeating events?
It depends on your perspective of a repeat event, because this Detective Pikachu event was pretty much just another Kanto event plus APOM. But like repeat raids, like we've had a couple of repeat raids.
Yeah, no, I'm more specifically saying like, okay, they did a Charmander community day this time last year.
Yeah.
And now that I come to think of it, it was about the same time as the Torchic day.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They're usually in the same week.
Like no, I'm just saying like fire starters. Yeah, it was a fire starter both times. Maybe they're starting to develop a pattern. I don't know. But my question is, when will they do another Charmander event day? Will they ever do that again? Because there will at some point be a critical mass of people who will pick up Pokemon Go for the first time, who will not get the chance to do what everyone did on that day and get a bunch of shiny Pokemon for a specific type of Pokemon.
They'll probably mix it up and just like, if they were to do it, well, they kind of did do it. Like at the end of last year, they did like all of this year's community days were slamming it on this day. Like,
that's true.
Got a bunch of them, and you could repeat that. And it's like their Christmas, like Merry Christmas. Here's all the community day.
Yeah,
like,
for the past...
people are doing shit at Christmas time, so
get out. Well, that was the problem, is I couldn't do any of that. Like, I still haven't got myself a shiny Bulbasaur because I couldn't do that event. Yeah. It's the only one I'm missing from the Kanto trio is the shiny Bulbasaur. But the cool thing about it is that once you're out... Once they've released the shiny version of that Pokemon, it is possible to just encounter it in the wild. Yeah. Like it has the same shiny odds as in a regular Pokemon game. I know this for a fact because when they first released shiny Magikarp, it was in raids only.
Yeah.
And we were something had happened and we'd had a bad day and we were just like, let's go for our walk. And I was like forcing Vanessa out the door, and she didn't want to do it. She was like, I don't want to. And I was like, let's just go do it. Yeah. Like we'll have a good day. Like we'll have a good moment on this day.
Yeah.
She was like, fine. I was like, oh look, there's a Magikarp raid. Do you want to do that? And she's like, yeah, whatever. And we did the Magikarp raid, and then hers popped up, and it was a shiny Magikarp. No. And she was like, ah! And like completely changed her mood. And I was like, see, look, there you go. We did a good thing.
It's kind of weird. Like to me, shiny Magikarp means nothing. only the fact that it evolves into
Shiny Gyarados. Well, that's the reason. Like, she wasn't happy about the Magikarp, but she was like, "Oh my god, this means I get a red Gyarados."
Yeah.
And then like a week ago, she just clicked on a Magikarp and got another shiny.
Jesus fuck.
Yeah, and I was like, "Bitch, please." Nah, that's alright. I got a shiny Diglett.
I also got a shiny Diglett.
Yeah.
The only shiny family I have completed is Wingull. I have a shiny Wingull and
a shiny Pelipper. Yeah.
I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
They are spectacular.
I don't
shinies.
bother completing the family. I just want a shiny full evolution. Like,
I didn't like.
Yeah.
I just have them.
Oh yeah, no. It's just because you can have them, yeah. But like, I have like a bunch of shiny Cyndaquil. I could have a shiny Cyndaquil, Kalava, and a shiny Typhlosion. I prefer to just have shiny Cyndaquil and Typhlosion because they're both cool. I like Quilava, but it's alright. Yeah. But yeah, it's just been Pokemon Go and Final Fantasy X. I'm looking at the horizon for what's releasing, and I'm not seeing a lot that's like piquing me right now.
I don't. Wolfenstein comes out soon, which means Doom comes out eventually. I bet we'll get the release date at E3 for that. There's something that comes out at the end of June. It might be Wolfenstein.
I mean, there's Mario Maker 2.
Yeah.
But like, that's not me. Like,
no.
It's not a game for me. So I'm just like, yeah, okay, cool. Like, again, it's one of those games. Like, I'm happy you're getting that game.
Yeah.
Get that game.
Rage 2 was on my interest, but then everyone keeps talking about like, this isn't.
It seems like it seems very much in the same vein as Days Gone. It's just the most mediocre that ever mediocred.
Yeah.
You know, like and so when it's aggressive, like I think Yahtzee from Zero Punctuation did his review of Days Gone, and he
thought about him for ages.
Yeah, no, he's still going.
Yeah.
And he's still pretty good.
Yeah.
He called Days Gone painfully generic, and I was like, that's a good combination of words for that game. I keep hearing that like at hour 30 it gets really good storyline wise, and I'm like, hour 30 you can fuck off.
We went through that with Final Fantasy 13. We don't.
I mean, Final Fantasy 13 at least piqued my interest in the first couple of hours.
Yeah.
Like it was like hour 30 is when the story started to make sense and get good. But the story leading up to it was like, I was still like, well, I like these characters and this world is really pretty and the combat's really good and this is really interesting. Like there's something here. I just don't know what. Maybe if I keep playing, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And again, I'm a 13 apologist, so
13's a good game in retrospect. At the time,
it gets better with age.
Yeah. And with more context of the industry. Because I was watching Digital Foundry's comparison for the Xbox One backwards compatibility.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, holy fuck, this game gets really good on Xbox One X. Like, we went from, like, Xbox went from having the shittiest version to the best version.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool. But they were talking about like how it's just nice to have like a linear game where everything's fucking an open world.
Yeah, like I've said this a million times, is that one of the things that they did, which was really cool, was that they gave people a linear game with delineated chapters. And it could be completed in such a way that if you are in... Because like Final Fantasy 13, by the time that released, the people who love Final Fantasy games and grew up with them are in their mid-30s or late 20s and have a job or a family and a fucking life to lead.
Yeah.
A Final Fantasy game like a traditional one, like a 7 or an 8, that's hours a night that you have to spend playing that game. But if you've got a Final Fantasy game that you can knock out a 30-minute section of and get just as much experience, like good experience, combat-wise and story-wise in that 30 minutes, great.
Yeah.
Because I can do like a little bit and then I can save it and then I can go.
Yeah.
And then I do a little bit and I save it and I can go. And I can play that game at my own pace and I can still get 70 hours out of it. Yeah. It's just done in a little bit more like small bite-sized pieces, and I love it for that.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's a game that unlike 9 or 8 or 7, I can go back and load 13, even 10 and 12 have this kind of a little bit of a problem there of like, I can load up 13 anytime and I feel comfortable playing it. I can play it for 10 minutes, I could play it for 10 hours and it feels just as good both ways, rather than some of the other open world games which you just sit there like drudging through sludge, just being like, oh god. But yeah, nothing really exciting me right now. I'm more looking forward to E3.
Yeah, which apparently a bunch of cool stuff's coming out after that.
We should talk about.
Yeah.
Let's jump into it. Yeah. E3 cometh. Look at this. So you've got an inside. Oh yeah, this is the ESA stuff that was released recently,
Yes.
right? Or the article.
Everything I know about this basically comes from Giant Bomb Castle. I didn't know about it, and then I'm like, I should include that because that seems important.
Who did this? Variety or
Variety.
Variety did this.
Essay.
Yeah, did this breakdown of what the ESA has been like behind the scenes for the last.
Breaking down.
Yeah, which is a complete fucking shit show. Which for those familiar with the industry and understanding what the ESA is, it's about how we thought it was going to go for the ESA. It's kind of how it would, because it's a corporate lobbying group masquerading as an activists group, kind of.
I thought they just ran E3 because that's the only time I ever hear about.
So the ESA was formed after it was formed in like 1980 some. I couldn't give you the proper history lesson, but it was formed in response to the government in America getting a little bit testy about Mortal Kombat and its whole
that's where the ESRB came from. Is
Well,
the ESRB a division of ESA?
The ESA created the ESRB. Like they are the so the ESA is basically a lobbying group which is which is the forward-facing group of people in favor of the games industry.
Yeah.
So when you're talking the ESA, you're talking a bunch of people that represent companies like EA, Activision. They represent those guys, Blizzard, and all that kind of stuff. Like, whenever those big companies have a problem, it's the ESA that does this kind of stuff. And because they are that kind of corporate lobbying group, they kind of do this weird duality thing where one of their jobs is to kind of keep the government off the backs of these companies with things like ratings and stuff like that. So they basically came up with the idea of the ESRB so that
the government wouldn't do it.
Exactly. So they'll basically just like, look, we get it. We'll self-regulate. Look, here's our rating standards. Here's the things that we're going to do. These are applicable to all video games. Please leave us alone.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, cool. Yeah. The problem is that in more recent times, as corporations the world over in every industry have become more powerful and more fucking evil, the ESA has become more of a lobbying arm, and they tend to just kind of try and keep everything hush. The ESA is very much against unionization within the video games industry. They have been basically mute on the loot boxes problem in our industry, and they continue to just kind of be nothing. In terms of people, like in terms of the consumer and in terms of the worker, they are nothing. They are basically, if anything, they're a force against you because they don't give a shit. For the industry itself, for a while there, like ESA ran the E3 convention, and it was basically the idea of like, well, we as a bunch of corporate lobbyists know a lot of people in the video game industry. We also know a lot of people in the retailing industry. KISS is basically what E3 was. Because it was always a trade show. And now as companies are starting to look at the way that they can directly interact with their customers and their fan bases without having to go to a trade show, and more companies are pivoting that way, the ESA has become less and less important to the video game industry, which is a weird thing to happen because you've got this now, like the
it's like this vestigial tale kind of thing.
Kind of, but it's also this weird thing of like the ESA might become very important soon as some American senators are introducing legislation against loot boxes, which, you know, with a company like EA or Activision or Blizzard or Epic or any of these people that use microtransactions, I mean, if the government legislation is... there's a bigger debate here about like whether government should be policing this kind of stuff and all that kind of stuff. I think the problem lies with, I don't have an inherent issue with governments stepping in to help what's the word I'm looking for? Regulate. I don't have a problem with government regulation. What I have a problem with is government regulation by people who don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Exactly.
And that is the current problem, specifically when it comes to video games in America, is that you've got a bunch of people. We saw it with the Facebook hearings.
Yeah.
We've got a bunch of people who barely know what their iPhone is, and they're like, well, how does the games work? And they are people making laws about this shit.
Yeah.
And so when they write up legislation, they're not going to take into account the fact that, like, most people don't give a shit about cosmetics. So if it's a cosmetic microtransaction, we don't care.
Yeah.
But they might just go, any transaction under $5 that is not part of the original bundle of the game is a microtransaction and therefore illegal. Like, they literally might just do that.
Yeah.
And that could cripple a company like Blizzard because Overwatch is huge.
Yeah.
And that's bad.
Yeah.
On the other hand, they need to fix that problem, and it was brought to the ESA's attention very early on, and they didn't do anything about it. So the ESA has got this weird situation right now where they're becoming less and less relevant publicly,
Yeah.
but I feel like there's going to be a point where, unless EA and Activision have their own corporate lobbyist groups now, which are separate from this,
Yeah.
if this legislation gets traction in the United States government, the ESA suddenly is as important as they were back when Mortal Kombat was around in trying to fend off the regulation in the United States.
Yeah.
Because, it's weird talking about US stuff, but at the end of the day, the way the US goes is the way the world goes when it comes to games, for the most part.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
And especially with, like, Europe already, some countries in Europe
Yeah,
ruling
your
against loot boxes.
Belgium's and your Netherlands and whatever.
Like, those games have been affected. Like, Australia
Yeah.
hasn't done anything yet, but I don't think...
No, it's because we've already ruled that it's not gambling.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
We already ruled that loot boxes are not constituting gambling. So, I mean, unless someone takes it up again and it goes to the High Court and it gets overruled and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
But one of the things with law in general is that once precedence is set, it's kind of hard to overturn it.
Yeah.
And the precedence has been set.
Yeah.
Loot boxes are not gambling. Tell your kids. But yeah, and so this report kind of talks about how ESA over the last couple of years has just been kind of like fucking falling apart.
Which is why one reason why they introduced the public into it. Just like, oh, we need a relevance to E3.
Yeah.
I don't get this thing. Like, why is E3 losing relevance? Like, to me, the way I perceive it and the way I perceive the media perceiving it is... It's still relevant, like people are still excited for it. Like, yes, there's no necessarily like the kissing of the two partners, but like it's the news industry.
It's the retail part that's the problem, I think, is because like the brick and mortar retailers don't. Jeff Gerstmann said this on the Bombcast. If a video game company wants to sell their games to a Best Buy or to a Kmart or to a whatever, they'll just go directly to them now.
Yeah.
They don't need, like, the internet has changed things.
Yeah.
Where now, like, they can go directly to the partner they want to work with. And on the other hand, on the other side of that, most of these companies have their own goddamn storefront.
Yeah.
So why the hell would they bother going to a retailer? Like EA Origin, Blizz, was it Battle.net?
Yeah.
Uplay, Sony and Microsoft both have their own. Bethesda.net has their own. Like, they've all got their own goddamn storefronts. Yeah. So the point of a trade show was to interact with retailers, and then, the journalists get their little sneak peek as well. Yeah. But that retail relationship has broken down.
Yeah.
So what is E3 anymore? It's a convention, just like any other. So there is rumor and possible speculation that they might sell E3, the names and the rights, to the guys that currently own PAX. Yeah. Which could be a good thing.
Could be. Or it could just be another PAX.
It could. Well, see, this is the thing, is those guys that run PAX are smart. They seem to be very intelligent, because it's not Penny Arcade anymore. They fucked off a while ago. The company that runs PAX is fairly intelligent. And I would think... This is just me. This is just me. Like, me thinking about what I would do in this situation. We've got PAX. That's video game convention. Yeah. That's a bunch of nerds getting together to do their shit.
And specifically video games, not like Comic-Con where it's just nerd hang out.
But,
I wish that could be the title, but I
can't. Maybe you could screenshot and make it the thumbnail. Anyway,
apparently thumbnails could be GIFs.
Yeah. One day it'll be. Where was I going? Right. You've got PAXs already, and that is it's kind of like independent E3. Like a lot of indie games go there first. And a lot of people just go there to talk video games, and there's panels and all this kind of shit. And like, you know what you've got there. If you are to buy and pick up the rights to the name E3, there's a lot that comes with that. And I would think, and I would hope, that you'd be smart enough to know what E3 means to most people, and therefore use that to its fullest advantage. Yes, we're making a public trade show now called E3. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk to Microsoft, Sony, every big game developer that's out there and be like, hey, why don't you save your big announcements for us? Because they already announced stuff at PAXs. Why the fuck wouldn't they do it at the E3 that is now going to be owned by the PAX company? And
as opposed to like Borderlands having all that stuff. Borderlands specifically at PAX is for the community.
Yes.
I think. That's not a great
example. But it's basically like the whole thing was that E3 was a weird thing that evolved into something it was never meant to be in the first place. Because it was a trade show that was meant to be for industry insiders to go see things that before the public can see them, for basically two reasons. One, so that the industry could maybe take a look and see it. It's basically like the game developers could get a little bit of hands-on time with some people that aren't just QA testers. Be like, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And then you could also have the sort of relationships made between the industry people, and then, you know, you could get some announcements out of the way as well. But it morphed into this thing where like it became the calendar point of like every game gets announced at E3. And then at a certain point, video game companies got sick and tired of competing for spotlight on that time, so they started spreading out their announcements all over the calendar year. If you're the guys running PAX, I would basically do everything within my power to bring everyone back to one point and be like, this is E3, this is where the video games are announced. If you want to announce a video game, you announce it at E3 because X, Y, and Z. Like, get them, like those guys should be good enough and smart enough to figure out how to make it an incentive for the industry, because that's what the problem is now. The incentive for the video game companies is lost. Why are we there? Why are we spending so much money here when we could spend just as much money doing our own little thing later on down the track? Like, Nintendo's proved it. You don't have to be there doing a press conference and spending all that money, but you can be there for the trade aspect. And you can do a 45-minute direct and call it a day. And even if E3 is just a public event, there's just a way of like wheeling and dealing and being like, hey guys, you don't have to be here and doing a press conference, but you could do a 45-minute video with a bunch of trailers in it. And the very first time we see a bunch of these games be here. And they can come up with reasons as to why that would be, because if they do it correctly, it is a thing where you could see one time a year, all eyes are on E3, like the way it used to be. But it's not quite that way anymore.
Not quite, but I still think it's like super.
It is weird. Like, a lot of the coverage on E3 is just a bunch of a bunch of video game outlets going, E3 is not relevant anymore, but we're still covering it. Like, wait a second, what?
That's like it's. And all the people coming out of Judges Week are like, there's still fucking awesome games coming. They keep joking about Splinter Cell, which means Splinter Cell's not here. I'm fucking mad at it. Both Greg Miller and Jeff are just like, there's something about Splinter Cell, which means that's not there. Or is it?
You'll never know. Not with those two.
But there's just like a bunch of... I really like E3, and I want it to continue as it is, because it's a bit...
No, I want it to evolve. I want it to get better.
I don't think it will. It just takes some smart people figure out, because like everyone keeps bringing up, we had the Santa Monica Day. Thank God I wasn't there. So I would have... That seemed rough as fuck. But like, just have some... Like, we've had... E3 has had some growing pains that it had to evolve through. Like, the global financial crisis fucked a few things up.
Yes, it did.
We got to this point where, the last couple of years were just hype machines. They're just like, hey, everyone's here. But then, like, I don't know, one thought I just had was that maybe Sony was pushing so fucking hard, just fucking Year of Dreams every year, just fucking Final Fantasy 7, like blah blah blah, fucking whipping their dick out every year. Last year they went really slow.
Yeah.
Microsoft, on the other hand, has been having good conferences,
just solid, yeah,
but like not games that people are super interested in. Like,
no.
Here's Forza, here's Super Lucky's Tale.
Yep.
Here's
Gears 5.
Here's DMC 5.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they've just been solid. And like, yeah, I want E3 to still exist. I just want it to evolve.
Yeah.
And I think that is the key. It needs to evolve.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a thing of like, maybe if someone like the PAX company can buy the idea of E3, like buy the intellectual property and all that, maybe it's no longer just this one weekend in June. Maybe it's just like, maybe they split it up. Maybe they're like, hey, this is the Xbox E3 conference, and it's just this one time a year that you can do it. And you get to, like, every August, Xbox does their E3 conference, and every March, PlayStation does their E3 conference, and all the PAX people have bought is like, we'll just do all your streaming for you. We'll pay for the bandwidth and all this bullshit, and you just use the E3 name, you buy it off us, you get all the eyes. Maybe something like that, where I'm trying to think of like ways they could diversify it into like a more than just the one weekend where a bunch of press conferences happen. Because that's also the thing, is that the press conference side of it also doesn't work anymore. Because what it used to be was that like we do a press conference and then all the press gives the information to the people.
Yeah.
We don't need those press people anymore because we can just talk to the people. We just dump a trailer on YouTube and it's got a million hits. We don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
So that's where it gets a little bit weird again. So, but hey, after all that, Netflix is coming.
Yay.
Netflix is going to E3? I don't know. Is Google going to be there?
There's no word yet, and this is too
late.
Late.
I saw a tweet where they said they were going to be announcing pricing by the end of June. Pricing and launch date.
By the end of June. I know they said summer at GDC.
It said, I'm pretty sure the tweet read end of June.
June's going to be pretty packed because there's E3 and there's also WDCC. Is that how you say that? The Apple event. They used to be the same day.
Oh, yes.
There's a week difference between them. And then there's going to be a Stadia event.
Yep.
Fuck.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a packed month. I mean, they'll try and get everything. It's weird because it's not fiscal year anywhere else. It's the end of financial year here in Australia.
Yeah.
But who fucking cares about that?
Yeah.
It's weird. Netflix is going to be there. We'll see. I don't know.
I don't mind. Like, Netflix is just Netflix at E3. Like, I would get Netflix at PAX or Netflix at GDC.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it's just like they have.
I mean, the thing,
like Bear Grylls 2, Kill Him Again, or whatever. Bandersnatch 2, more Snatch and Banders. Like, I don't know.
God. It's weird if you think about E3 as a video game expo. It's not so weird if you think about what E3 stands for: Electronic Entertainment Expo. Netflix is electronic entertainment. Like, if Netflix existed 20 years ago at the first couple of E3s, it would have been at E3. It would have absolutely been there. Because it's this weird, like, streaming service. Watch whatever you want, whenever you want, man. Like, that's what it is. Yeah. And so, had E3 been solid and, you know, not fucking fumbling around for those years during the GFC, Netflix probably would have been there. Yeah. And would have been part of this ecosystem a lot earlier. But E3 weirdly evolved into just the video game expo. And I feel like that might be where it needs to go as well. Is like, just diversify, get out of just video games. Because that is what's holding them back right now.
I feel with that, then you get into, like, if they diversify, then you either end up becoming Comic-Con or you end up becoming CES.
Which CES is in trouble as well. Might as well merge the two.
Sorry?
CES is not doing well either.
That makes sense. No one goes to it. Well,
exactly.
The porn event, it's not the same week.
No, it's not. Anymore, so why would you go?
Yeah.
That's the point. But no, like, I'm still hyped for E3. We will do our predictions next week, I think. Because the week after is E3, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Fuck. We'll do the prediction. Yes, we'll do the predictions next week because that way that filming will drop the week before E3. Because I think E3 is about 3 weeks away.
I think so.
It's like 14th or 15th of June or something.
Yeah, we got this week.
Yeah.
We got
So
a
then
whole
we
another ass week, and then it starts on the 9th.
Yeah, so we'll film it in this week, so it'll drop there.
Yeah.
And then the predictions will drop around when the press conferences have happened, and then you can tell us whether we're wrong or not.
Yeah.
Yay!
We're probably wrong.
Yeah, we're always wrong. I'm
Chance
always
will
wrong.
be there.
just. Damn it! You took my easy Ubisoft prediction. Damn it! I guess I'll just have to go with a sad. Well, anyway, sad monkey on stage. Space monkey.
Andy Serkis?
No, I'm beyond good and evil.
I know what you were talking about, but Andy Serkis sometimes shows up, and that's what disconcerting.
All right.